Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Joshino, and today we've got some more spicy speculation, and this time it's for the new champion confirmed to be called KOGA. What it looks to be shaping up to be sort of ninja type assassin that is an ex-member of the Thousand Hands Guild. Also worth mentioning before we start is there has been a tease of a Makoa and a Maldamba skin coming in this ninja update. But there's also, in the data mines a few weeks ago, a Cassie skin that's apparently coming with this ninja set. Maldamba and Makoa were listed in that data mining, so it's likely we'll probably see a Cassie as well, although we don't 100% know whether these are going to be 3 event skins, or whether they're going to be part of the Battle Pass, or whether the Battle Pass will be part of the event this time around. It just depends how they're tying things together. My guess is they might go the Fortnite route and take it with the Battle Pass and tie it in with the sort of a themed event that might be going on with sort of ninjas and maybe waves of ninjas. We'll just have to see. Anyway, be sure to let me know all of your spicy speculation on the new champion KOGA and everything coming. And also, the update show is going to be tomorrow at 12 ET, and I'll be covering the new champion and hopefully playing them on the public test server as soon as they go live and getting some gameplay to everybody. And maybe even a live stream. I just need to try and get it set up. My 4G has not been working all too amazingly. Anyway, let's move on to the first image, the first bit of speculation, the most recent one. So this is an image of KOGA, and we can actually see his face with the mask, and the quote is, "1,000 hands, a magistrate tried to hunt me, but I am hunting too. Whoever betrayed me, know this, I will have my revenge." So the first big thing is the sort of face reveal. It's not 100% shown. Fury also had a drawn face, so it's quite different to what they actually looked like. But we can see here that they do wear some sort of mask. And also, again, their eyes are kind of odd. And in one of the other images, you could see the eyes don't quite look normal. They almost look like similar to Maeve's Tigress eyes. And also, I'm curious, on the mouth piece of this mask, there seems to be almost like a zip. I'm wondering whether this opens up when KOGA talks, whether these two bits of the mask are metallic and it opens up whilst he's talking. It could also be that it's kind of a breathing apparatus, because every image of KOGA seems to be completely getting scorched in flames, so maybe he has trouble breathing when he's fighting, so maybe that's why he has to wear a mask. Also in this image we can see that he is going to be wearing a cape, so a cape champion coming. Very spicy. But also we can see the weapon. Those 3 sort of gigantic flaming claws, and the way it's scratched across the wanted posters and the board, it does kind of look like it might be a ranged weapon in that he has moved forward away from the board, and it looks like he's slashed across it without actually touching it, although it could be that in this image he's already moved across, slashed past it, and then walked past the image. I'm guessing this image and all the images we show today are going to be from the cinematic, the trailer that will be shown tomorrow. And you can see in the background, like the backgrounds are look like they were done in paint, but it's probably just because it'll be animated and you won't be able to tell that when it's actually in action. I know it's a humanoid character, but the character does look fairly cool from behind, and the mask and everything does make them a bit flavorful. And I'm going to try and piece together quite a few of the other images and sort of the story that leads up to this point where he's been betrayed by the Thousand Hands Guild and the magistrate. So ages ago, before all of this, we got a tweet that said, "You call this a dangerous mission? Give me a real challenge," showing KOGA on the top of a building, a sort of Asiatic themed building, looking about to assassinate one of what kind of looks like a pirate lord, maybe a crime boss or the mafioso of the Paladins realm. They look like they might be quite powerful individuals actually, because they do have crystals on amulets around their neck and in both of their gloves, so maybe they too could have some fighting power there. And obviously being lorded over by 2 ladies in that image. But what's interesting in piecing all of these together, in the second one, the next image on is "The bastards betrayed me, framed little old KOGA, and worst of all, Zin believed them, so much for family." And you can see here 4 of what we could only guess are the Thousand Hands Guild trying to take out KOGA. And actually it's interesting seeing the Thousand Hands Guild sort of insignias on their hands. They all have flaming symbols, and again Zin uses flames in his weaponry. I'm just wondering whether the Thousand Hands Guild sort of signature moves and signature weapons are all fire, or whether it is just KOGA with his claws and Zin, but it looks kind of like the gauntlet in this image. On the forefront, at the very front, is also flaming slightly, so whether they're trying to kill him with those claws too. It'd also be interesting if there is a PvE event this time around. They have been talking about them working on a PvE event, but it'd be interesting if you were fighting off all these Thousand Hands guild members as these sort of bots coming at you in waves. I think that'd be rather cool, and especially if they have abilities with flames and kunai and bows and arrows and also these chain blades. It'd be rather awesome. The other interesting thing here is that it does kind of look like a prison in this the background of this image, with almost bars in the back and also chains and sort of hooks hanging down, looking like they could be tortured or hung up if they're prisoners. Although the next image they showed off was the Thousand Hands Guild will not forget the day they turned their backs on me. And in the background there's a sort of safe house for the Thousand Hands Guild, which I guess that's what it is, another prison. And he sort of like basically destroyed it completely, and you can see quite a few dead members outside. There are actually 4 bodies I think you can see in the foreground, which are 4 people shown in the previous image. And it does kind of look like the same beams and the same building that they were fighting in to begin with. Although in going from this image to the last image, it looks like Koga has got his armor on perhaps, although it doesn't show him with his claws. Also interesting on this image is that the enemies killed have arrows sticking out of them, and there's kunai in the trees and bows shot into the trees as well. So a bit of spicy speculation here, but does he have the ability to fire off arrows? None of the 4 assassins were shown to have arrows in the other image. Perhaps that's his alternate fire to give him some range over his normal claws, or perhaps he has sort of a set of all different ninja weapons that he can use. Or perhaps he does have some sort of reversal, a bit like Zin and Androxus, although I think that might be a little contrived. Also worth mentioning is that these images are all showing him quite high up, quite athletic, and again, probably the next flank champion coming, and I hope he does have some big movement abilities, which I'll talk about a little bit as well from some data mining we've had before. Going back onto the story here, so Koga has both the Thousand Hands and the Magistrate trying to hunt them. And if we go back to the first image, with that Pirate Lord, some spicy speculation is, could they be a sort of either Magistrate operative or a criminal lord that is aligned with the Magistrate and that is sort of sanctioned in the way that maybe they're bribing the Magistrate, or there's just basically some corruption within the Magistrate, and taking him out would have triggered their hunt for Koga as well, and perhaps jeopardizing the neutrality of the Thousand Hands Guild as this sort of shadowy and neutral assassins guild, which has been talked about in Zin's lore, that they're sort of this outside and neutral faction that just does their own thing. I think what would be most interesting is if it was actually Zin himself setting up Koga, perhaps because the apprentice or his right-hand man was getting too powerful, and maybe they were worried that they might take over the Thousand Hands Guild from Zin. It'll be interesting how they align Koga after all this has happened. Will he stay neutral as a sort of chaotic evil slash chaotic neutral character in the realm that doesn't really fit in with any of the factions? Or will he perhaps stumble across the Paladins and the Resistance and join with them, just out of an enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of situation? Anyway, be sure to let me know your speculation on the lore in the comment section below. We'll be finding out tomorrow, but it's just fun to do this. But on the weaponry and the abilities, I'm a little bit more stumped as to what they're going to do. They do keep hiding the right hand when it is weaponized. In the image, the latest image, it is also sort of hidden. It kind of almost looks like it is a weapon. It's sort of like the hand sort of ends, and it's sort of like gloved into a weapon itself. So can you fire sort of ninja projectiles out of that thing? Is it sort of like a cannon or something like that? Maybe the claws themselves are to stab with. Again, could this be a grapple to grab onto enemies? Is that how he's going to be able to get around? There was also some data mining a few weeks ago by Toka de Pip, and there was something listed about a ninja character, and basically it was a mix of Strix's switching weapons and something similar to Sky's invisibility, and also Strix's invisibility, in that they go faster during visibility and run, and there's something about a second projectile weapon. However, I thought that this could perhaps be the rework for Sky, because it sounded a lot like her kit, and if Koga was like that, it wouldn't really differentiate between the characters between Koga and Sky, so I wouldn't see why they would put that in. And I'm kind of hoping that Sky maybe does get a new sort of set of weapons, maybe able to switch between something that's got a bit more poke damage and something very close up. That could be rather interesting, and maybe emphasizing the speed or a movement rather than the full-on invisibility. But coming on to Koga again, can he fire anything out of his mask? Maybe he can fire out a gas and ignite a bigger fireball in front of him when he ulties, or something like that. It does also kind of look like Trainmageddon. Just sort of put it in there with sort of the train face almost going on in the front. But again, we don't know how the champion will actually look when they come out. Furia looked very different from her art when she was drawn basically by pencil compared to what she actually looks like in the model in her face. hi-rez also did tease a new map that's Team Deathmatch that has some jump pads and some new features as well, and this is based on the Rise of Furia event, so it's not going to be linked in with the Ninja event, I'm fairly certain. And I'm kind of hoping that there is, maybe there's not going to be a whole map, but then maybe there'll just be like a sort of this Asiatic stage, or maybe it'll be on Siege of Ascension's Peak where you're fighting off waves of Thousand Hands Guild. That would be probably the perfect event for me and would be rather epic, but we'll just have to see. And again, I'm guessing it's going to be tied in with the Battle Pass for this event, as I'm guessing they've not done 2 sets of skins this time around, but we'll never know until tomorrow. Be sure to let me know all your spacey speculation in the comments section below, and we can compare how the story unfolds, if Zin actually betrayed KOGA, and whether or not he was dobbed in to the magistrate that way and pushed out by Zin himself, or somebody else that's a bit jealous within the organisation. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.